Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there are 4 steps.
Tell us something about the book which you have written, the books which you are planning to write, and the books which are on the board.
I write in 2 languages. I write in
Which are
Marathi and I write in English also. I wrote a book titled Ananda Marga. And the moment I read self-advocacy as Swatachi Vakili, I said, oh my God, what was I writing about when I was writing it in English? I would say health at the physical, physiological, psychological, intellectual and spiritual levels. Navkshitij is the name of the organization that we started.
Friends, welcome to Business Success Stories brought to you by Inaiways Technologies. And I'm Anant Sardeshmukh. Today, I have with me a very, very multifaceted personality, and I'm sure that the conversation which we are going to have for about an hour now will be very interesting and will give you so many inputs, not only on business, but your overall life too. I have with me Dr. Chandrashekar Desai, and as it suggests, the name suggests, he's a doctor, and we'll know more about him. Welcome to the show, Doctor. Before we start, I'm an avid reader. I love books, and you are an author, and I have heard a lot about your books, and they are so interesting. They contain so much of about the life, how it is to be lived, and especially the greatest, I would say, the objective of life, that is happiness. So let's start from your books and tell us something about the book which you have written, the books which you are planning to write, and the books which are on the board.
Oh, well, I actually write because as I write, my thoughts become clearer. And so many things which I had thought before I started writing, as the clarity came on, they started answering me
Oh,
my own questions.
okay.
And the best part is I write in 2 languages. I write in
Which are
Marathi and I write in English also.
Marathi and English.
Marathi and English.
Okay.
And when I switch languages,
Mm-hmm.
I realized which big word I was hiding behind without understanding the word. It's a very interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, I was writing about rehabilitation and inclusivity of mentally challenged adults. And there kept appearing a word which has caught the world by storm.
Mm-hmm.
It is self-advocacy.
Okay.
Self-advocacy. I was going around that word. I felt I had understood it till I started writing the same thing in Marathi. And there the meaning was Swatachi Vakili.
Yeah.
Suddenly I understood self-advocacy.
Yes.
And the moment I read self-advocacy as Swatachi Vakili, I said, oh my God, what was I writing about when I was writing it in English? Mm-hmm. And then it suddenly started flowing. So I write so that I can understand.
Okay.
And so I keep writing.
Yeah, you talked about the words and the different meanings which could be derived from different words and the philosophy, I would say, hidden in those words and all that. And you did mention about one word, happiness. And if I'm not wrong, you came to a conclusion there is no word for happiness in English. Is that true?
In our philosophy...
Anand, I think, not happiness. I think I used the wrong word.
Yeah. In our philosophy, Brahman is known as Sat Chit Anand.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That Ananda is far beyond just pleasure, happiness, or joy. We call it bliss, for short of a word that can, for instance, again, Atma, it cannot be translated as soul.
You're right.
Because soul comes from a different ethnic background, Atma comes from a different ethnic background. So I say when we are writing about philosophy, wherever the word Atma comes, let it remain as Atma. प्यार को प्यार ही रहने दो, कोई नाम न दो. You know?
Okay.
So I use Atma when I'm writing, even in English. I refuse to translate that word because it's high time. British English is only 30% English, 70% comes from other languages anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe they can borrow some from us also.
Yeah.
That is why when we talk about that Anand, which forms the Anandamaya Kosh of the human being, this we can't say is your bliss sheath. That's a very poor translation.
Yes.
I would rather leave it at
Okay.
Anandamaya Kosh.
Okay. Where from the inspiration for all this writing comes from, and rather, where did it originate from?
Actually, I still refuse to call myself an author, but just because there are so many books that carry my name as author. But it is always a quest to understand the world, myself, and my place in the world better and better and better. As I confessed about 15 minutes ago, every year I read what I have written last year and I say, oh, which idiot wrote this? You know? But still it doesn't stop me from writing, though I know for sure next year I am going to think this is idiotic. But it is a question of growth, growing from within by expressing yourself. And then when you have the courage, you also publish it so that the others know what you have done.
Right. You just mentioned that you've written so many books. So let's know about those many books and the subject of those books and about those books. Rather.
I must confess that as an individual, I am a loner. And probably destiny knew that I had to eventually get into a social sector and work in that.
Yeah.
And it must have thought ki ha dagdacha Maruti kasa karaycha. First thing it did is it introduced me to the concept of love.
Concept of?
Love.
Okay.
And which was taught to me by my younger daughter who is mentally challenged.
Oh, okay.
What is unconditional love?
Oh, okay.
And that was the first book I wrote, Prem Manje. I wrote it in two languages, English and Marathi. In English, it was Love is ... Both were published by Macmillan. End of the book, I realized I have only written about what love isn't.
Oh, okay.
I have yet not written about what love is because it is to be experienced, not talked about. After that, I was drawn into Vipassana and transcendental meditation, Sahaja Yoga and these things. And there I saw that everyone is aiming for samatha.
Okay.
Samadhi. Whether it is Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And there in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there are 4 steps. 4 pada ahet. The first is Samadhi pada.
Okay.
That surprised me.
The first one is that.
First step is Samadhi pada. After that is Sadhana pada. Then is Vibhuti pada. And finally is Kaivalya pada.
Okay.
So if Samadhi pada is the first step,
we think the other way. We feel that
Samadhi
Samadhi
म्हणजे आता थडकं बांधायला पाहिजे
Yeah.
असं वाटतं तसं. Samadhi pada is the first step in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. In Vipassana, what we are looking for is samatha,
Right.
balance. The definition of health in Ayurveda is samadosha, samadhatu, samagnisha, sama. So balance is samatha. What is there beyond balance? Since Patanjali Yoga Sutra says that samatha is the beginning of life. What is beyond balance? म्हणून मी एक छोटी पुस्तिका लिहिली titled Beyond Balance.
Okay. Beyond balance.
What is beyond balance? It's like a diver or say a skating artist. They go into that stance of samatha. Balance, absolute balance. And then they go into that spin and all that. So the real art, the real living starts only when you are balanced. Your decisions are not drawn by desires or fears. Most times our decisions are taken by through either our desire or out of fear. Either we are running towards something or away from something. And when you are in that state of samatha, the external factors or these desires and fears do not affect your actions and decisions. And that is when you can really take balanced decisions. It's also the left brain, right brain, balanced. And then you take a decision. Beyond balance, what is beyond balance? And there also, I ended the book saying that balance is the beginning of life. I had still not found out what was beyond balance. This is how I keep writing. And then slowly, I was introduced to the concept of Ananda. And then it clicked. Beyond balance is Ananda. And you can only go towards Ananda when all your decisions are unbiased by your fears or your desires. So then I wrote a book titled Ananda Marga. आपल्या याच्यात दिलेलं आहे की ध्यान मार्ग, भक्ती मार्ग, ज्ञान मार्ग, कर्म मार्ग, हा 5वा मार्ग आहे आनंद मार्ग, द पाथवे ऑफ जॉय. अँड दॅट हॅज बीन, मला माझे एक गुरु म्हणायचे की शेखर तुला षड्ज सापडलाय. तर माझा जीवनाचा षड्ज इज आनंद. सो आय कीप गेटिंग ड्रॉन टुवर्ड्स इट. आणि म्हणून मग आनंद मार्ग इज डू इट युअर सेल्फ सॉर्ट ऑफ बुक. अँड देन व्हेन आय रोट a book that got recently published, Insights from an Old Monk. That talks only about Ananda. And I have read so many different philosophies. You will be surprised की पंचदशी नावाचं एक 14व्या शतकात इंडियन फिलॉसॉफीवर एक मोठं पुस्तक पब्लिश झालं. पंचदशी इज 15. 10 आणि 5. त्यातले पहिले 5 अध्याय म्हणतो मी, त्याच्यात फक्त हे ब्रह्मनचे 3 ॲस्पेक्ट्स आहेत, सत, चित, आनंद. पहिले 5 फक्त सत वर आहेत, पुढचे 5 चित्त वर आहेत, आणि पुढचे 5 आनंद ह्या विषयावर आहेत. कुठल्याही फिलॉसॉफीमध्ये आनंद ह्या विषयाला इतकं महत्व कधीच दिलेलं नव्हतं. आणि ते वाचल्यावर मला अजून 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 कळायला लागलं की ॲज शोपेनहावर सेज, it is difficult to find happiness within ourselves, but it is impossible to find it outside.
Yes.
But we all have chosen to do the impossible over the difficult. We
Very
keep
true.
seeking happiness outside, but the happiness is within. And the day you discover that happiness, you have lived the third aspect of Brahman, which is Ananda. And there you just realize that there is nothing that I need from the world to be happy, nothing that can be taken away from me to reduce my happiness, nothing that I have to do, nothing that I should do, nothing that I should never do. Because whatever it is, again, my decision is not swung by my desire for happiness, because we discovered that the happiness is within us. That is a book that I did. And then later on. So I keep writing so that I can understand what I am seeking a bit better and a bit better.
We'll come back to that philosophy later in the context of business and entrepreneurship.
Oh my God.
Friends, the title of this podcast is Business Success Stories. And this business, what we are discussing, this success, what we are discussing today, we're talking about, is, as I mentioned earlier, is a multifaceted. Because I have a doctor with me who is a surgeon. and who is having, I think, almost about 4 decades of experience in surgery. And that surgeon has turned into a philosopher, which you heard very recently. Tell me, doctor, something about your, the initial years and how you decided to become a doctor, a surgeon, and from then the life has taken totally a different course and all that. So, we'd like to know your earlier life and how you started and what made you to change the course of life.
As I confessed before, I was quite scatterbrained,
Mm-hmm.
jack of all trades, master of none.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that gave me joy, I kept doing.
Okay.
So when people asked me, what
So
are your...
happiness has been there ever since.
Yeah,
you
I've been
started.
living with it. It took me a long time to
Right.
discover that it was there. So when people ask me, what are your extracurricular activities? I used to say studies.
Oh.
And since my elder sister went for engineering, I didn't have a choice. I became a doctor.
Okay.
So it was by default that I became a doctor. And at that time, I used to feel there are only two types of doctors. एक तो सर्जन असतात नाही तो दुर्जन असतात. So I became a surgeon. And after that, okay, it is a mechanical job. You keep doing it. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And things like that. After 5,000 surgeries, I stopped counting.
Oh.
But that's a routine for any doctor, any surgeon. One day, I was on my...
I think you passed out of AFMs.
I did it from the Armed Forces Medical College, my
And
MBBS
I
and
think
MS.
AFM, the one who comes out of AFMC, he has to, serve for army.
Yeah. I had signed a short service commission bond.
Okay.
But then I paid up the money, bought the bond, and got out.
Okay.
So I was happy doing all these surgeries and all. As inevitably happens, you gain a reputation also, and you tend to bask in that. Then one day on my two-wheeler, I was going across Lakdi Pool. I had not realized that it was banned for two-wheelers those days. Halfway on the bridge, I realized, oh my God, I messed up. But there was no way to turn back. And then I slowly cruised towards the other end, and I found the reception party there as usual.
Constable waiting there.
Three of
Same
them.
experience I had also.
Three of them were standing there. He said, yeah. And then nice sahib. So he didn't even look at me. Chalan, 100 rupees. And then he started looking somewhere else. I didn't have a chance to put up my case also, and I didn't have a case. So I paid him the 100 rupees and came out muttering to myself, why can't these guys stand on the other side of the bridge?
Yeah.
They could have stopped me from breaking the law. And then as I looked up, I saw the big board saying Pune Hospital. I said, oh my God. As a doctor, I am also standing on the wrong side of the bridge. When I know that so many people are making so many mistakes that are going to land them up in my hospital, instead of standing on this side of the bridge, telling them what not to do and what to do, I am standing on the other side collecting the fines of their... And that is what changed my thinking for me.
Okay.
I said, now it's time I stood on this side of the street and told people what they can do and what they should avoid doing to increase the probability of their being healthy till the ripe age of 80.
How did you do that? How did you start? And
that was an interesting journey. When I started studying the subject of health, I realized that as a doctor, I knew a lot about diseases, but I didn't know anything about health.
Right.
So I read
Same thing is true for diet also, I believe. There is nothing which a doctor learns about diet.
Diet, lifestyle, and all these things are secondary.
Disease, not control, but disease curing.
मैनेजमेंट
Yeah.
उसमें पैसा है भाई. हाँ. But we are not dissuaded from asking what health is. We are just kept distracted.
Mhm.
We are so drawn by disease. It's so interesting, that one doesn't think about health. So then I realized, okay, what's the WHO definition of health? It says health is uh, physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely absence of disease.
Okay.
Now, no one has quantified well-being. And then I realized that this is not the definition of health. This is the definition of ideal health, which is a myth anyway. What is the definition of real health, actual health? Then I had to fall back on Ayurveda, which says samadosha, samadhatu, samagnischa malakriya, prasanna atmendriya mana, swasthya iti abhidhiyate.
Yeah.
So, okay, then I had to study. Luckily, my
What is
wife...
the meaning of that? I think probably...
balanced doshas, balanced dhatus. That's another concept of Ayurveda. Sama Agni. All the energies that go into digestion, they go into thing, they're defined as pancha, this thing, I'll just get the word. So these, when they are in balance, and prasanna atma, indriya, senses, and mana, prasanna. So then I thought, okay, how can I translate it into an understandable language? When you wake up, your eyes should open like headlamps. Wow, what am I going to do today? There should be a spring in your step. There should be a smile on your face. There should be a tune going on in the back of the mind. Right. You should feel really hungry at meal times. And the bowel movements and all should be clear. And you should be looking forward to every day as something interesting. That probably comes closer and closer to the definition of health. So once I got what health is, then I thought maybe we can work towards it. And then I thought about techniques to enhance health, which again in modern medicine, there are no techniques to enhance health. But then in Eastern philosophy, we have yoga, we have mudra, we have pranayam, we have meditation. Like the 8 steps in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So these are all health enhancement techniques. Can we translate them into an understandable language and make it available to people so that they can increase the probability of their being healthy, not only at the physical, physiological, psychological, intellectual and spiritual levels.
You're right.
So we went about making this HPS that can help you increase the probability of you being as healthy as possible through life. Okay. I got drawn into it and then I couldn't step out.
In a way, this was a different kind of entrepreneurship. And then you found discovered one new horizon of entrepreneurship, that is the social entrepreneurship. And I think something came out of that, and which you developed it very well. And that was, I think that is not was only, but is a need of the hour and all that. So could we just know about that,
are you referring
social,
to
enterprise which you
the organization that we have started for mentally challenged?
Right, yeah.
Okay. I heard this word social entrepreneurship quite recently, actually. But I had very strong motivation to go into social work because I have a younger daughter, Aditi, who's mentally challenged. And she helped to get the best out of both of us as parents. My wife Nilima, she's no more. She was a PhD in Ayurveda. Yeah. So most of my Ayurveda comes from there by the process of osmosis. Yeah. So, but this little girl, we were told at her age of 7 months that she is mentally challenged. And we both, as doctors, took it up as a challenge. Then I used to practice acupressure in those days. So I went to South Korea and Japan and got advanced training in acupressure and came back and started giving her acupressure. Nilima used to do Abhyanga Mardhan that she had learned from Ayurveda. We used to give her all the Ayurvedic medicines. And we did even asinine things like going to Babas and Gurus and things like that. Of course, nothing worked. And then there was a book written by one Glenn Doman from Philadelphia. He said, "What do you do about your brain damaged child?" That was the title of the book. We went through that book and made all the cards that were supposed to stimulate her thinking and make her more normal. And this used to be a constant battle between my wife and my daughter, because she was insistent that she is going to make her normal. When Aditi was 14 years old, I was seeing both of them sitting. Nilima was showing, my wife's name is Nilima. She was showing her cards, and Aditi, in her own inimitable way, would look anywhere except at the cards. And the sound levels went on rising. I called my wife outside because I suddenly had a flash of understanding. I put my arm around her and I said, "This girl has accepted us as we are. Why can't we accept her as she is?" That was the day. She didn't change. We changed. Not we had to. It was such a pleasant change. We accepted her as she is, and then we started noticing the beauty in her. She was
The
14.
happiness and
The
embedded in that.
inbuilt happiness within her is something we learned to recognize. And that was my first lesson of Ananda that I got from the little one. And then we started thinking, how could we make it possible for her to be happy all her life? Because finally, what do we want for our children? That they should be happy. Unfortunately, we tell them you should be happy, but you should be happy my way. And that's where the problems begin. That's where the generations start separating. We thought we should find out what happiness is through her eyes. And one of my gurus, he gave me the Guru Killi for success in any business. He told me, when you go fishing, use as bait what the fish like, not what you like.
Okay. Good one.
It's
Very, very, I think, important in.
Mr. Vivek Sawant.
Okay.
He told me that.
Yeah.
Use as bait what the fish like, not what you like. So we invested time in thinking what Aditi likes. And slowly she started revealing one secret after the other. And then we said, if she can be so happy, we must share the same happiness with other mentally challenged children. And that is what motivated us to start a residential rehabilitation center for intellectually disabled adults and aging. Because they are going to age. And there has to be a system that can take care of them. We are in it for the past 20 years. Inmates who joined us way back in 2003, many of them has crossed the age of 60. They're still with us and they will always be with us. As I said, it's like a marriage oath that is taken in the Catholic Church. to wealth and poverty, through disease and health, till death do us apart.
Right.
Now we have to ensure that Navkshitij does not die before the child.
Navkshitij is that
Navkshitij is the name of the organization that we
which
started.
Yep.
So death do us apart, meaning till the child grows, becomes an adult, ages gracefully and in happiness, and then quietly passes away. There should be an organization that takes care of these people. Because actually no one knows what happens to them when they become adults, when they age, and what happens to the family. It is almost as if they vanish into the mist.
Oh.
And having lived it, I realized that these children and their parents definitely deserve a better life. And that is why we started this. And recently, we started in 2003, but the CSR law was passed somewhere around 2014.
Yeah, 2000, right. 13.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And after that, it became easier and easier to get funding for this organization. That is why I would like to appeal to the youth that they should take up social entrepreneurship as a vocation. It is the need of the hour. It's not only social entrepreneurship for mentally challenged.
Yeah.
It could be for any this thing, and majorly for the aging normal population.
Yeah.
Because there are streets in Pune where there are just aging parents living. I call them orphan parents. The children have gone to some other countries. They have settled there. They're ready to fund the thing, but physical
loneliness
presence.
and the problem.
So starting homes for such adults, or starting in-house services for such adults, aging. Because retirement age is 60, but the person is full of health and vigor at that time. He's not ready to really throw in the towel. And he wants social interaction. And sometimes one of the spouse dies, and then loneliness can grip one. That is where society can step in, where these social entrepreneurs can really make a beautiful business out of this. Unfortunately, social service and money was never really looked at in one platform. But it is time that we realize no social service can happen without money.
Yeah, it needs, that's the basic.
It needs money. And if you're into social service, you have to wear chappals and take a jholi and walk around collecting money. Well, that's not the situation anymore. You can make a career out of this. You have every right to live a happy life and a wealthy life also. So, social entrepreneurship, if the youth get into, they can pay themselves handsomely and still run a venture that really does good to society.
Yeah, but I'm glad that today there are many startups who are social enterprises and all that, and who are doing wonderful work.
Absolutely.
And the problem there also is same, that after few initial years and all that, shortage of funds. And I think that's where they get stuck and they don't know how to move ahead, which the cause which they have taken up, it's really the very, very important one. But in the absence of the funding and the funding drying up and all that, I think it takes a different turn. So what would you advise them?
I can tell you about my example. 2021, when I lost my wife, this was in December. In December 28th, January 3rd, I had to face all the parents of the 50 mentally challenged that we had living with us. And they had held their breath thinking, what is this guy going to do? He will take away his daughter, appoint 2 caregivers. He has the money, he'll pull the shutter down on this organization. And But then I assured them that, well, this is not going to happen. We are only going to grow from here. And then I really started looking at the funding part of it. So you asked a very nice question. And then I asked our managers, because before that 2 years, my wife was not functional, and then we were struck by corona and things like that. So the managers were running the show. Neither of us, being founders, were really actively involved in that because it was running it from a distance. Then I sat with my managers and I said, आपण पैसे कसे एकत्र करतो to run this thing? So they said की आमच्याकडे पगाराला पैसे नसतात, आमच्याकडे ग्रोसरीला पैसे नसतात. Just before that, I had visited the new plot that we have bought. 3 acres of land with 31,000 square feet to be constructed. It was barren land. And it's almost a 18 crore project, and I didn't have 18,000 in my pocket. So then I said, probably our approach towards collecting money should be changed. Luckily for me, Mrs. Smita Shetty, who was teaching at BMCC, BBA and MBA courses, she joined us as a trustee. And then I used to have a lot of brainstorming sessions with her. And then I said, we will change the narrative totally. And then when I met the CSR people, I told them that when we sit in an aeroplane, there are those instructions read in front of us which we never listen to.
Yeah.
And there they say, when there is a disturbance, the masks will fall from above. Please put on your own mask first.
Yes.
And then help the others. So I started telling the CSR people, I have put on my mask. My daughter has been well taken care of. Now I need your help to help others put on their masks. And that made a difference. Now that construction within 2 years is almost over 31,000 square feet. And at the same time, we have increased our strength from 50 to 93.
Strength of the
inmates
who
live with us. Second major. So probably I cannot really venture to tell others how to run their business. But I can say there are no paradoxes, as Einstein would say. If you find a paradox, check your premises. Is your intention when you started this was very noble?
Noble.
तिथे कुठे खोट आली आहे का बघा? Is something else taking priority over that noble cause that you had?
You have to stick to the cause.
You have to stick to the cause. And probably, again, we come to that samatha. If it is not desire or fear driving you, then your narration will change. Your body language will change. The conviction that you talk with will change. And probably that the things that you ask for will also change. Checking your premise is something that I would suggest anyone should do. Second, as I said, use as bait what the fish like.
Oh, yeah. How did you find which bait is liked by the fish?
By the CSR people. Oh, they always go in for the low-hanging fruit.
Okay. So you do the work and we give the... Okay.
So they asked me, I learned these words in the last couple of years. Need analysis, impact analysis,
right,
and all this. See, I was like a mom and dad shop, working in my own clinic with my own patient, my own world. And then suddenly I was exposed to need analysis and impact analysis and number of beneficiaries and things, pie charts and columns and things. I was way out of my depth. Then I took a step back and I started telling a different story to the CSR people. I said, we have 90 inmates living with us. Their life is happy. I can assure you that my younger daughter will be happy all her life. I can't say that about my elder one. Now, my elder one, Nupur, is the only veterinary oncologist in India.
Okay.
So when I was talking to him, he said, Baba, असं काय म्हणतो? I said, no, you are going to put yourself through so many tests and trials before you finally give yourself permission to be happy that I cannot assure that you will be happy all your life. So, see, these 90 inmates we are looking after. That is the first beneficiary. The second immediate circle of beneficiaries is the family.
Yeah.
So my wife Nilima could do her PhD at her age of 50. I could write these books. I've published 20 scientific papers and gone all over India on bike and two-wheelers and things, and did 5 countries in Europe through with my elder daughter on bicycle.
Oh.
And so many things I could do because I was assured that my little one is looked after well at Navkshitij.
Yes.
And then I say, now you calculate the impact of these. The third group of beneficiaries, there are 61 employees at our place now, most of them hailing from the villages. They are getting all the facilities and amenities that are available in the city today. Their children are going to the best schools. It is one generation has jumped 3 generations just because they have shifted the place that they work in. Then we do street plays on awareness of Stri Bhruna Hatya and things like that.
That generates funding too? Or no, just an awareness?
It's just the impact. So the CSR people started buying it. That the impact is far larger than these 90 people. Then again, I noticed one after the other that you need total transparency in your accounting. So we outsourced accounting so that on the click of the button, you could see how much fund had been used to date, under which cost, what they call it, center. You know, all these things I learned in 2 years. So forgive me if I use the wrong words. And we can show any person who comes to see what has happened to our funding here. This is how much has been used, this is how much is left, and this is what we need. And this we have spent out of our pocket, which is far beyond what you gave us. So the next year they're ready to give 15% more. This is how the funding comes in. And as they say, दान करताना सब पात्री दान करा. I tell my team, आपली पात्रता वाढवूया. आपली पात्रता वाढवली की सत्पात्री होईल जे कोणी दान करतील ते. त्याच्यामुळे we have a big group of private donors. They are more reliable than the CSR because their agenda keeps changing every 3 years, and I don't blame them for it. There are so many social sectors that need funding that they can't keep funding one organization for years on end. So we have to also plan for their not funding us the next year. That's another thing that I learned about CSR, that you have to finish the money they have given in the stipulated period on that particular activity, and there is a zero balance policy. You have to show that you have zero balance left. The very next day they will ask you, if I stop funding you, how will you survive? Because I have ensured that you've got zero balance.
And besides that, you already mentioned that transparency has to be there, the service has to be par excellence.
These are things that you learn on the job. So I would suggest that in both places, you first check in whether you're digressing from your purpose. Second, find out what sells. And you'll get your funding. Social entrepreneurship is not really so difficult nowadays. But if you are honest with yourself and to your cause.
And provided you follow all the principles which you mentioned, because that
becomes easier and easier when you're not trying to hide anything.
Right.
When you don't have a hidden agenda, it becomes easier to become transparent.
Right. Yes.
That is But I was lucky I got into this at a late stage in life where I didn't have any agendas. But the younger generation, I agree, must find it quite difficult.
You did mention about the companies and the CSR funds and all that. I think what I feel is that majority of them, for them, the CSR is there because section of a company's act says that you have to spend 2% of the profit and all that. So how, as a true, social worker and having established this kind of a, social enterprise and shown the results and all that, what would you say, you tell them that how they should look at CSR and how they should come forward to help the enterprises like yours to carry the work forward?
So actually, initially I used to tell them that CSR is corporate social responsibility, but most companies look at it as a compulsory social responsibility.
Yes, right, true.
But then there is a third dimension to it. It is a community social responsibility.
Yes.
And when I accepted a hefty check and I was supposed to express my thanks on stage, I said, I'm very grateful for receiving such a big amount for our work. But I object to the words donor and donee in the MOU. Can we call ourselves CSR partners?
Yeah, that's a...
So, आधी आम्ही असे जायचो. Then I said, let's do this. And the third approach I took is, I went to a big company. You have 60,000 people working for you. The incidence of mentally challenged children being born is 1 in 200.
1 in?
200.
200, okay.
0.5%. So I'm sure some of your employees need this service.
Good.
I have come here to offer you my help. आधी असा होता, मग असा झाला, मग असा झाला. हात. You tell me what you need under your CSR. I said, no, I have not come here to ask for money. I have come here to offer you my services. Your attrition rate is so high. Why don't you do something for these employees so that they will stick loyally to you? And that was another twist that we gave. It is slowly working.
Okay.
And when I tell them that, look, this is a cause that we both are working for. I have rolled up my sleeves and I have jumped into the shop floor. And you're not expected to do that. All you are supposed to do is help us with the financial part of it.
Right.
So that we do it as a partnership. You're not a donor, I'm not a donee. We are working together towards a cause, which I do part of it that I can do, you do part of it that you can do. Right. It is taking up more and more attention of the companies. So if we change the CSR from compulsory social responsibility to community social responsibility, there are more and more
whole
people.
Approach.
And now you'll be surprised. Now they actually come, visit. They spend time with our children. They go back and say, Doc, tell me how much more do you need?
Oh.
This is happening.
That's the success.
This is happening.
Yeah.
We began 3 years ago with 3 companies who were supporting us. Now we have 38 companies with us. And of course, they are strapped with their own laws. They don't give for capex. They don't give. These are new words that I learned, capex and opex. So what we did is we started taking houses on rent. Rent goes in opex. They found it easier to fund that. These are the things. You don't need to transgress any laws. You have to learn to transcend them.
Right. Yes. Very true.
And this is what I learned in the last 2-3 years that I took the...
You had another enterprise also in the area of holistic wellness. Tell us something about that. How did that idea came to you and how did you develop it into an enterprise and what did you do under that?
Actually, as I've said, I thought I should be standing on the right side of the street to warn people. And then I need to create a system.
Hmm.
For that,
This came before the Navkshitij and all that. No?
way before.
Okay.
Way before.
Hmm.
See, I was leading a life of research and reading and writing and things while my wife was fighting with Navkshitij. And when she withdrew, then I had to drop everything else and jump into Navkshitij. But then, to be on the right side of the bridge, I thought I have to create a system which can tell people. But it cannot be a standardized system. It has to be a customized system.
Right.
Because if we give standardized advice, we can only address the LCM of people, lowest common multiple.
Yes.
So it's going to be bland and equally useless.
Right.
That is what is happening with most dietary advices that are being thrown into the air, picked up by social media, and there is a wave which comes and goes down. You don't know what it was 6 months ago. Now it is a different thing, maybe totally opposite, contrary to what was being practiced 6 months ago. What we are looking at is a sustained system that can relentlessly take you from health to better health to health excellence.
That's your definition of holistic wellness?
That is my definition.
Okay.
Holistic, unfortunately, it is a widely misused word. I would say health at the physical, physiological, psychological, intellectual, and spiritual levels is holistic. You have to add the social angle to it also. At all these levels, to maintain a person's health, we cannot depend on chance advice here and there. You have to depend on a system.
Yeah.
At the same time, you have to understand that each human being is coming from a different place.
Right.
Again, I go back to the analogy that I used, that we need to create a GPS of health.
Oh.
Where the GPS knows that each individual starts from a different starting point.
And destination is
And the destination is also different. So, if we want to create a system like this, we should have a roadmap of health, like the roadmap of any city. Second, we should have a tool to establish your current coordinates on that roadmap. We should also have knowledge about what will happen if you take a particular road, where it will lead you. And finally, the fourth component is we should be able to navigate you along the best path. These four components had to be created to make a system, and we created all of them. We created a tool to create a roadmap of what happens to normal human beings in their normal lifespan. Out of the multiple infinite options that they have chosen, then we found out the factors that influence health. For that, again, we have to go to Ayurveda, because modern medicine has not defined the factors that influence human health. In Ayurveda, they say ahar, vihar, achar, vichar, nidra, maithun, dinacharya, ritucharya, desh, and kal. These are 10 factors that influence health. You have to translate them: ahar, diet, vihar, lifestyle,
everything.
So we record the options that each individual has chosen in these 10 influencing factors. Before that, knowing that each person has born with a different constitution.
Right.
So the 3 factors that lend to your health, first is nature, the constitution that you are born with; nurture, what you have been brought up as; and third is the free will choices that you have made. out of which nature is a given that continues through life, like your fingerprint or your signature or your iris. Ayurveda has defined nature as your prakriti, your constitution as your prakriti. That goes with you through life. It is like your identity, your signature, or your DNA. Nurture is the way you were brought up as a child, at all the things that you chose. You chose sports, you did not. You know, and things which branch you educated yourself on and all that. And then other free will choices that you make, like in marriage, having children, the place that you settle in, that vocation that you choose, and of course your habits, addictions, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get all that knowledge about an individual, you have created a living being. In scientific research now, which I have published about 20 scientific papers, what we compare is columns on an Excel sheet, just to give you an analogy. We don't compare rows.
Yeah.
We compare columns. Hemoglobin, blood pressure, this, age, gender. No. We have to compare rows because we have to compare individuals with individuals. So to create that individual, we need an identity that goes through all the parameters to the end of this life. That is the Prakriti.
Okay.
That is nature. So we created a tool to establish your Prakriti, your current health status. So now we had a tool to establish your current location on the roadmap of health. Now, from wherever you are, we have seen that around 10, 15 types of roads generate from there. And we also have data of senior citizens who have walked these roads. So then we calculate what is the probability of you ending up here if your default arrangement is allowed to be as it is. Big chances that you will end up in this cluster. Instead, you say that, okay, I don't want to end up with diabetes and this. And so, okay, from the same starting point, we have a group of people who do not suffer from anything till the age of 75, 80. Now we compare these two groups. All similarities between these groups are non-influencing factors. The dissimilarities are the influencing factors. And then we navigate this person towards that destination,
which is
by comparing the dissimilarities between these groups. What is it that they did which these people did not, and what is it that they did not do which these people did? That will be the navigation tool that can increase the probability of you reaching the healthy group of people. This is how we designed the whole system, and just because it was designed on the principle of GPS, we called it HPS.
Oh, health.
Human positioning system or health positioning system. And it is actually a search engine. Normally, the search engines that we see generate information. We were talking about Peter Drucker.
Yeah.
He has shown the difference between information and knowledge.
Knowledge, right.
He says information in action is knowledge. Now, this search engine that we have created will generate knowledge about what happens when. So, unlike other search engines which generate information, this search engine will generate knowledge. It will validate existing hypotheses. And since we have already created markers which will highlight any two values which have a significant p value, so the data will throw up further hypotheses which can be then validated.
You mentioned the word search engine, and that
Yeah.
prompts me to ask you one question,
Yeah.
rather related to today's technology. That is the AI, artificial
I know. I
intelligence.
know.
So, do you think that this AI can do a wonderful job of out of whatever information you collect and further analysis of that and give a more effective HPS to the
HPS cannot work without AI.
Oh, so it's already known. Okay.
Very simple.
Mhm.
See, all the conclusions that are going to be drawn are going to be on pattern recognition and AI. Because what we are doing is we are comparing qualitative parameters, which at present the data analytics find it very difficult to deal with. They cannot deal with multiple, multi-option, qualitative and quantitative variables. So AI is going to play a big role in what we are doing with HPS. Because the current data analytics does not have the capacity to deal with multiple, multi-optional, qualitative and quantitative variables.
Mhm.
They have to either grade it or quantify it. We have created a system, and I wrote a paper on that. We called it science of classification versus science of quantification.
Mhm.
See, simple thing like tastes, we cannot
Quantify that.
quantifiably separate salt from sweet and from
Mhm.
pungent. They are qualitatively different. Same with Prakriti. Same with major things in life. As Einstein would say, most things that count in life cannot be counted.
Mm. Yes.
So most things like love, happiness, altruism, loyalty, friendship, bonding, all these things cannot be quantified, but they rule our life.
Mhm.
This is what living is all about.
Mm.
But they can be classified.
Yeah, definitely.
Once we classify it, then AI will kick in a big way
Mhm.
through pattern recognition. Of course, all Indian sciences have grown on pattern recognition.
Yes.
So this is a very age-old technique, pattern recognition. The word was introduced recently, but all Ayurveda came through pattern recognition.
Right.
Second is machine learning.
Mhm.
Now, machine learning has been introduced now as a technique, but all our yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutra is based on teaching this machine.
Body machine.
Yes. This is machine learning. You practice a forehand cross-court shot 200 times, next it becomes a muscle memory. It is machine learning. That is the technique that we have used for health enhancement also, machine learning. And then a very important thing that will come out of HPS is that it can show you the incubation period of any intervention. आज योगासना चालू केली तर how many months later you will see the results, which at present is not available easily. So there are multiple things that are going to come out of HPS, and I am quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think there lies an opportunity for the new startup entrepreneurs.
So
that's
many.
A vast scope.
It's a huge platform that we'll be creating, and people said that you will face maximum resistance from pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
You don't agree with that?
No, because pharmaceuticals are not there for healing, they are there for money. If I show them that there is more money in health than in diseases, they will shift very easily. One thing. Second thing is that at present there are so many side effects of medicine. If I can persuade pharmaceuticals to create Prakriti-specific medicines for each disease instead of disease-specific medicines, a whole lot of side effects will be.
Okay.
avoid it.
Yeah.
And there also pharmaceuticals will be very keen on
To
partnering
develop
with
that.
us.
But, okay. Now, we talked about the entrepreneurship. We talked about holistic wellness. We talked about social enterprise and all that.
Yeah.
But on the other side, we have a huge, I would say, the entrepreneurship, which is very, very commercial kind of a thing, which is mainly driven by the profits which they make and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
And that creates a lot of problems, the physical, mental, and everything.
Oh, yes.
So what would be your advice to those entrepreneurs? How do they should go towards holistic wellness, as well as the various principles of business, especially the social enterprise which you mentioned? They are relevant in this kind of enterprise
Any
too.
enterprise.
So I would like to have your views on this.
Well, I am reminded of a ghazal Ghulam Ali ने गाई थी,
Mm-hmm.
हंगामा है कि बरपा.
Uh-huh. Yes, very famous.
He says, one of the शेर is, हर जर्रा चमकता है अनवार इलाही से,
Mm-hmm.
हर सांस ये कहती है हम हैं तो खुदा भी है. So take care of number one first. Whether you are a social entrepreneur for the social aspect of it, or you're in it for just the money, take care of number one first. हम है तो खुदा भी है. And take care of your health at the physical, physiological, psychological, intellectual, spiritual, and social.
Right.
I was listening to a conversation between Clint Eastwood and Elon Musk. In that, he says the measure of success of the success of a person is
Who Clint Eastwood said?
Clint Eastwood was telling how many of the people who helped you build that empire are with you today.
Oh, okay.
So you have to hold the
Take them.
people, take them along with you. Yeah. And finally, what matters is, did you enjoy yourself doing it?
That's most important.
Yeah. Have you hurt people by the time you got there? Because these are the things that are going to come back to bite you. जब सुकून से बैठते हैं, these are the things that will keep gnawing at your peace of mind. And finally, I would say, if you ask me to define success, I would say a person who has given himself the permission to be happy is a successful person.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
And one who cannot be happy just now can never be happy, because we only live in the now.
Right. Mindfulness.
Yesterday is useless. Tomorrow is
Doesn't
powerless.
exist. Yes.
Tomorrow is powerless till it becomes today.
Yeah.
So that makes my life so much easier. I have to deal with only today, not with yesterday or tomorrow. And if I can't be happy now, then I can never be happy. So you have to check back on yourself. Even however fast you are running, are the people who helped me reach here with me? Like there was an interview of Salim Javed Mika Salim.
Oh, yeah.
He said the character of a person can be known from Purane Mulazim, Purane Dost.
Oh.
How many of them are there with you today? So that could be a measure of success.
Yes.
Second is, am I happy?
That's very important for the every entrepreneur. That how many
people he has
team
trampled
members
over? How many people he has trampled over to reach where he is?
Right.
And probably you can slow down a bit, because just adding more zeros to 5 zeros, 6 zeros, 7 zeros, 8 zeros does not give you more joy. They stop mattering after some time. And yeah, that money belongs to you. But as Khalil Gibran would put it, give while the time to give is.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will be given after you anyway.
Okay.
He's another author who's really inspired me. Khalil Gibran.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what I would tell any entrepreneur. Adding zeros to zeros to zeros. And finally, as they say, one who comes into the spotlight has lost people around him. They all go into darkness.
Yeah, darkness, very true.
So don't hanker for the spotlight. See that you are with the people who brought you up to there.
Right. Yes.
And don't let figures intimidate you.
Good.
This is what I would say.
So, I would like to ask you, what would you attribute your success to? Which are the factors which really brought all this success in various activities, starting from your medical surgery, then the social enterprise, then the other enterprise and all that? So one or two things which really brought all this success to you. You also mentioned so many things. Yes, they are there, of course, definitely. But
the first thing that helped me is each decision was taken beyond balance.
Beyond
balance.
Okay.
Where neither fear nor desire dictated my decision.
Okay.
They were taken from a position of equanimity.
Okay.
So that has helped me play life like a game. Like a game of chess. Oh yes, सामने वाला भी खेल रहा है. So he's going to make it difficult for me to succeed, but that's what makes the game more interesting. And then anticipating his next 4, 5, 6 moves makes it so enjoyable. You don't have to win every time.
Yeah.
So I say I never fail. I either succeed or I learn.
Yeah.
The only time I will fail is when I fail to learn from failure. So I keep working and playing it like a game so it does not stress me. That is a good question that you asked me. It stresses people. And then one decision after the other starts going wrong. If you play it like a game, it doesn't stress you. Unless you have sight on the winning or the trophy which you're supposed to carry home. If your sights are on that, you will lose here. And I've been a tennis player all my life. So my daughter has got 2 national golds in tennis, elder one. So when she came back from a match, and she threw away her racket and said, "Baba, aaj shot basatoch nahi hai." I said, "1 minute tham. A tennis court वर एक कोर्ट असतं, एक नेट असते, एक बॉल असतो, एक रॅकेट असते आणि एक तू असते. ते शॉट बसत नाही तसं काय म्हणते, मी नीट मारत नव्हते म्हणणं." So once you take responsibility upon yourself, I read a very nice statement which said, you take responsibility, it improves your responsibility. And म्हणून बघ, the moment you start thinking, माझ्याकडे पेशंट येतात, I tell them सूर्यनमस्कार करायला सांगितले होते, केले का? नाही हो डॉक्टर, झालेच नाहीत. I tell them, say it in English. सूर्यनमस्कार did not happen. म्हटलं असं नाही चालणार. मराठीत सहज आपण म्हणून जातो, नाही हो झालेच नाही, ते होत नसतं, तो ते करायला लागतं. So taking responsibility improves your responsibility. Once you keep that in mind, it becomes far easier then. Whether you're playing a game of tennis or you're playing chess, and if you play it like a game, it doesn't intimidate you. Like we have learned in any individual sport, till we lose 10 times, we don't get the trophy once.
Yeah.
So losing doesn't really deter me. ठीक है यार, फिर आएंगे, फिर करेंगे. So that's how I would lead towards
Right.
any entrepreneur, any business.
Yeah. See the happiness which is radiating out of you, the philosophy which is coming out of out of you. Uh, that would definitely make the viewers to ask one question to you: that how do you spend your day?
Oh, very interesting. For years now, I wake up at around 4:35 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Many a days I'm just sitting in the chair by myself and click, one idea comes on.
Oh,
And then I start. In Corona time, I wrote 125 articles.
I think the entrepreneurs should note this: how the ideas come.
They come from when you are doing nothing.
Okay.
Like when I was in Germany, we used to give 1 hour appointments to patients, and one appointment got cancelled. So my German host said, "What will we do now, doc?" I said, "Nothing." "How can you do nothing?" I said, "I am very good at it."
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing nothing. So when you're doing nothing, the ideas come up.
Mm.
So I just sit around. There are days on end when there is no new idea, but that whole thing is cooking inside.
Mhm.
At 6:30, 6:45, depending on the season, I go out and play an hour of tennis. Lawn tennis. Come back, sweating and nice. And then 8 to 9, उंटावरनं शेळ्या हाकणं म्हणतं ना तसं. My team is used. 8 to 9, they're going to get a phone call from me.
The review of operation.
ते काल काय काय केलं आणि आज काय करायचं. And I think you should do this. I think you should. करून बघ. If it doesn't work, call me वगैरे. Then 10 o'clock, I go to my clinic, see a few patients. 12:30, 1, I come back. And since I have taken on the added responsibility of Navkshitij, I don't practice in the evenings at all. I leave it for the meetings with the CSR people, or for talks like this, or for things, where I can devote my evening. I'm not committed. If you ask me, I live all 4 ashram every day.
Oh.
Brahmacharya in the morning, where I add to my knowledge and some reading
Sadhana.
and some writing. Grahasthashram through the day.
Right.
Evening, Vanaprasthashram, just leave it and take sannyas before going to sleep.
Very.
Udya sakali uthlo to wow, one more day.
Yes.
So this is the way I spend my day, if you ask me.
Yes. Very, very interesting. And I think everybody should take a note of it, and especially the entrepreneurs who work with a lot of stress and strain and work pressure. And that's how the holistic, well-being will flow in and all that.
And then life becomes a game. Happy game.
Yes, happiness. That's more important. Well, friends, I'm sure that in the beginning, which I told you, what I told you, that today we will have a multifaceted personality, multifaceted success story, and multifaceted business too. And I'm sure you must have realized the various facets which Dr. Chandrashekar Desai explained to you. And I'm again confident that if you follow what he has told, what philosophical things which he has put forth of you, if you deeply think about that, you will be successful, and more important that you will be Anandi. Right? Thank you, Doctor. We had a very, very beautiful conversation.
Thank you so much.
And a lot of things to take from this conversation.
I hope
Thank
so.
you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.